Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Only Leeds Bros for the match wrap up. And yeah, it's the night after the day before, after Leeds United's 1-0 loss at home to Burnley, which seen us lose our first match of the championship season. And yeah, obviously still kind of fairly frustrated, but after getting a sleep on it and kind of have time to kind of digest it and think about it, it's not as bad as you first kind of think and look at it. It's obviously it's never nice to see our football team lose a match, but I haven't kind of digested and thought about it kind of through today. The performance as a whole actually wasn't too bad. The first half performance, when you look at it, the chances that we had, yeah, we should have had a penalty, and then Burnley didn't really offer apart from the goal. They never really kind of troubled us. They're probably one of the best teams in the division and going to be up there for promotion with us this season. And they didn't really offer much, to be honest with you. They sat back in, and that's a testament to Leeds. They didn't come to Ellen Road and kind of disrespectful and tried to outplay us. They knew the quality that we had in the squad. They tried to sit in, be defensive, not ultra defensive, but defensive enough. And they showed respect to Leeds United, and we just couldn't break them down. So for me, having kind of thought about it and digested it, I don't feel too bad today. And look, it's obviously it's never nice to lose a football match. But yeah, the first half performance for me, it was actually good, apart from the goal. And seeing a bit there online, people kind of giving Matteo Joseph a bit of stick there after missing the chance, saying, look, if that's Patrick Bamford, and he's getting absolutely ridiculed online. And I agree with that. And if Patrick Bamford does miss that chance, he's getting berated and death threats and everything that Patrick Bamford, which is completely wrong. But the reason why we're not on Matteo Joseph's back is because he kind of has a little bit of credit in the bank. And what I mean by that is he isn't missing chances on a consistent basis like the way Patrick Bamford has been. And we know Patrick Bamford can miss some guilty opportunities for us and penalties and everything. So I think that's where the difference comes from. But yeah, if Matteo Joseph puts the ball in the back of the net, it's a totally different game, and Leeds are in control. And look what I said in the instant match review, with another opportunity then in Willie Nonto, and 9 times out of 10 then he puts the ball on the back of the net, but he doesn't. He hits it straight at James Trafford and he parries it away. And again, it's another opportunity that goes begging. And you can't, at this level and in the championship, you have to take your chances when you're on top, and Leeds didn't. And then we had the opportunity, obviously, with the penalty, which wasn't given. I've watched it back a few times. Joe Worrell did get the ball, but he comes from behind. And it's probably about 10 years that rule came in, that you just can't tackle from behind, whether you get the ball or not. You just can't come through the back of a player. So, yeah, for me, it was a definite star wall penalty. And look, we don't get it. The Burnley goal, having watched the back again and saying it, look, it's still unlucky for Solomon. Look, he slips up the far end of the pitch, and 9 times out of 10, you get away with it, and they don't score from it. It's what happens after that, and he's allowed to run the whole length of the pitch. Now you can see Gruev and Strike absolutely bursting to try and get back, and they can't make up the ground, and it's all kind of on Bogle and Elan Meslier to kind of save the situation. So looking at Bogle, you can see he tries to wait till the last second to cover, I think it was Jaden Anthony in the middle, because he knows if he comes across, there's an easy square ball all, and then it's Jaden Anthony one-on-one with Elan Meslier, and look at probably 9.5 times out of 10, he's putting the ball in the back of the net. But for me, when Jaden Bogle does come across, it's his body positioning and kind of what we're all taught. If you've kind of played football at any level, any sort of defending, whether you're striking or whatever, you kind of know to kind of stand up, be strong, and hold the striker or defender or the attacking player up. And Jaden Bogle just didn't do that. He comes out, he's very timid, he turns the body, and he puts the ball straight through his legs into the back of the net. Now, I don't think Elan Meslier should have saved it, but he didn't really cover himself in glory with his ankles either. Look, once a ball goes through a defender's legs, it's very, very hard to read where it's going to be. But if you look at Elan Melia's position, it's just completely wrong. He's well too close to his near post, and he doesn't even make a diving attempt to try and get the ball. So look, you find yourself 1-0 down against the run of play. Leeds had the better of it. Burnley didn't really test us whatsoever. So at halftime, then you're thinking, right, there needs to be a shake-up here at half-time. And us knowing Daniel Farke, we just know that it's not going to happen. He's not going to make the substitutions. And I felt at half-time that it should have been swapped up in the middle of the park between Gruev and Ampadu. And even though both of them are playing well, there's just no need for the quality that Leeds United have. There's no need to have two sitting midfielders, two number sixes sitting in there. Gruev is trying to get forward and Ampadu is trying to get forward and they're trying to act like that number 8, but it's just naturally not their game. So it felt like for me at half time, it should have been changed up there. I wouldn't have taken Solomon, Nanto, Aronson or Joseph off. I thought the front four were playing really, really well. They were creating opportunities. Some of the football was nice. Sometimes the final ball let them down. But all in all, I thought the front four were really, really good. It was the middle of the park for me that we were being a little bit left kind of exposed there. And Hannibal and Josh Brownhill done their job extremely well. They frustrated Leeds. You could see Hannibal was just there to kind of just get in the head of the players. And look, they done the job of it. And I don't know if any of seen Jayden Anthony's post on Instagram there just today when he says dominant performance and a laughing face, essentially being sarcastic, meaning that like how he got out Ellen Road with 3 points, he'll never know. So yeah, for me at halftime, Daniel Farke should have made the changes then, and he didn't. So you come out the second half and you're expecting a Leeds United onslaught to kind of push forward and chase the game. They didn't. Again, it was very passive, very timid going forward. The final ball was going astray, and it didn't really look like a side that wanted to go win the match. There was no real cutting edge. And the only kind of opportunity that we can remember from the second half that we had was the long range effort from Ethan Ampadu that was tipped over the bar. And even at that, it was kind of shot to nothing. The ball took a bit of deflection, bounced back out to him. He had a shot and it's tipped over the bar. And other than that, Leeds didn't really have much. And I think that's probably the most frustrating thing and the most concerning thing is that the second half performance was really, really poor. And against a promotion chasing team in Burnley, and look at they're going to be up there with us this season. That all boils down to Daniel Farke for me. And that's on the manager because Leeds they couldn't break them down. We didn't really have any spark, anyone that could kind of pick the ball up and go running at them. For me, we're probably missing a Dan James there as well to try and get his pace in behind, but Burnley were sitting very deep after that. So then you kind of need a creative number 10, which obviously we don't have. We haven't had in years. We'd Rutter doing the job last year, but again, you can see where he's playing for Brighton. He's playing out in the wing. Even he doesn't see him as a number 10. So we're really, really lacking in that position for me. And the concern is that Burnley were defensive, but they weren't ultra defensive. And you're going to have other teams coming to Ellen Road and they're just going to sit back and just going to wait to hit us on the counter attack. And that's my fear is when they do come to Ellen Road and they're going to sit back in, how are we going to break them down? And we probably need to catch them early doors, like a chance with Mateo Joseph to get 1-0 up. So we have something to kind of hold on to kind of pull them out. And yeah, for me, that's a concerning thing. And going forward, for me, all in all, it's not a massive dent in the pro shops. Look, at the end of the day, we're only 5 games into the season. There's 41 games left to go. It's a long, long season. And if you even seen last year, we bet Leicester home and away. We bet Ipswich home and away. And it can mean absolutely none. Burnley would probably beat us off 2 or more. So for me, it's probably clutching our straws a little bit. But for me, there's a long, long way to go. And it's against them lesser teams that we'll have to be picking up points, especially at Ellen Road. We need to kind of get our bottle back at Ellen Road because to me, we got thumped there to Middlesbrough. We've lost to Burnley. We scraped by at Portsmouth. So for me, that's a little bit of a concern that Ellen Road doesn't really feel like the fortress that it was last season, having only lost 2 games at home there. Yeah, so for me, look, not as frustrated as what it was yesterday. We kind of just have to dust ourselves down and crack on and move on to the next one. Cardiff is a massive game next week. We know how hard it is going there away from home. It's 3:00 kickoff on Saturday. And for me, this is where Daniel Farke has to show his bottle. He has to change it up. He can't go out with that same side again. I would like to see Gruev coming out. We obviously don't know the extent of Ampadu's injury, whether he's going to be fit or not. He obviously did play a little bit more into the second half. So whether Ampadu is going to be fit for Cardiff obviously remains to be seen. But for me, we can't go with that double pivot again in Gruev and Ampadu because it's just not working. And it's not that both of them have been playing bad. It's just that we don't have that progressive ball carrier. And I keep saying it, in the likes of Mateus Click, who can come back in, get the ball, and go up the pitch and score goals and be creative behind that number 10. We just don't have it, and there's just no need for it. There's no need to have the two of them back there and for Leeds to be that defensive. So for me, I'd like to see Tanaka get a run out, even if he starts the game and only gets 45 minutes, depending how his fitness is, or if Farke thinks he's not going to be able to last the game. But for me, we need that ball carrier. I'm hoping it's Tanaka, but even if it's Rotwell, I don't mind that either. We need to change it up. I would like to see Ramazani a bit more now as well. I think it's time to kind of let him off the leash. The little cameos that he has came on, he's looked good. So for me, we know Solomon's injury record. Maybe take Solomon out of the firing line for Cardiff and stick Ramazani in on his left-hand side. That's where he was playing for Almira. He got a lot of goals and assists there. So why not give him a chance? Do you mean take the shackles off and let's see what he can do away from home? And pressure probably off him. At least he's not in front of the Ellen Road crowd. So yeah, just for me, let him go. But there definitely has to be changes a Cardiff for me. And the next thing I kind of wanted to get into was seeing a good bit online, and I was thinking to myself after yesterday's match, and there's a question there to be asked: is Daniel Farke under pressure? And that this is not me saying Daniel Farke out or trying to push an agenda on the manager. For me, these next 5 games are absolutely massive to Daniel Farke. We've got Cardiff away, Coventry at home, which are Mark Robins' side. We know what way they're going to set up. That's going to be a tough game. We've got Norwich at Carrow Road, and look at the last couple of years we've gone down there. We've got the results, but not an easy place to go. You've got Sunderland away, which is going to be a really, really tough game, and then Sheffield United at home. So for me, the next 5 games for Daniel Farke and Leeds United are massive, and it will probably tell where we are. I want Daniel Farke to do well. I really, really do, but I just think he hasn't got the willingness to change. His in-game management is very, very poor. And when things aren't going right, it just seems like there's a plan A and that's it. And he sticks to it. And there's no kind of deviating from it or changing. And that's the concerning thing. And that's what Daniel Farke needs to change, because we lost a lot of points last year against them lesser sides when they were sitting back in on a low block, and we're still trying to play the same way. There's times that the ball can go long. There's time we need to be a little bit more direct. That's fine. If that's what you have to do to pick up the 3 points, that's fine. But at the minute, for me, the football is just ripe. It's boring, and there's times that it's really, really hard to watch. When it works and it's fluent and we move the ball quick, it's good to watch. But when we don't, it's very, very boring. And you could hear a couple of grounds at Ellen Road there yesterday, and that's just the fear for me, is that Daniel Farke hasn't got that credit in the bank now after not getting promoted last season, after losing the playoff game. Is not that he's on borrowed time, but I do think he's on a very short leash from the 49ers, and I think by the Sheffield United game, it will tell us exactly where we are with Daniel Farke, whether he's going to have enough to get us out of this league or not, because they're massive. The next 5 is absolutely massive for me. So yeah, so I'm not Farke out, but I do think there's a question there to be asked. And is he going to be willing to kind of change it up a little bit? Is his in-game management going to be a little bit better? And his substitutions, to me, his substitutions on Saturday they made no sense whatsoever. He brought Pirro and Rotwell on, and the two of them were just non-existent. I think Joe Pirro probably touched the ball 3 or 4 times, and he was on for basically a half an hour with the added time that was on with Rodon and Brownhill having the clash of heads, and he didn't do anything at all. Joe Rotwell tried to get involved in it, but again, he was picking up the ball kind of out wide, too deep. Nowhere that he could really kind of dictate the play. And for me, the substitutions came well too late. They should have came at halftime. They didn't. They should have came on the hour mark. They didn't, and they came on the 70th minute. So he brings Pirro and Rotwell on, and for me, that's when you should be bringing Ramazani and Tanaka on. Bring these players on that we've signed, that we've obviously signed for a reason, thinking that they can make a difference and get us promoted out of this league. He didn't bring them on. Okay, fine. Then after that, he whips Junior Firpo off, who's a really good attacking left back. We've seen him, we've been able to get assists, and he brings on Sam Boyer, who was a defensive minded fullback who's not going to get forward, who's not really going to be kind of creative or get you goal or get you assists. So for me, is that the opportunity then to put Smith on and let's see what he can do. It was like, to me, he was just making substitutions for substitution's sake and just throwing his hat at it. And for me, that's a sign of a manager that's not sure and doesn't believe in what he's doing. And it's not the first time we've seen it with Daniel Farke. There's times, if you remember Norwich last season when we were 2-0 down, he threw the hat on it. He just literally put every striker that we had on the pitch, he just threw them on. And look at it, came up trumps and we won. But there's times that it feels like to me that it's a little bit kind of half-hearted and let's just throw the deck at it and let's see what happens. So for me, yeah, look at, as I said, I'm definitely not Farke out, not yet anyway. Look at, he's been promoted from this division twice. The 90-point trophy is we keep turning around saying, and I'm not Farke out. I do think that he can still do it, but I think he needs probably to stop being so stubborn. That's the word for me. He needs to stop being so stubborn. And the same thing last year when we were talking about the Rutter and Pirro situation. He was very stubborn with that, and then he eventually decided to change. Yeah, so for me, yesterday's defeat is on Daniel Farke, and he has to take that one on the chin, not the players. The players tried. Yeah, they missed the chances. But in the second half, he failed to change it up. And I don't know what you guys think. Look, with just how many people we've got watching. We've got 5 there watching in the building. I don't know what your guys kind of thinking is on it. Like, am I being a little bit too harsh saying that Farke's under a bit of pressure? Does he need more time? Is it time to get him sacked? What's the kind of overriding feeling in the chat? Get into a couple of the comments. So Dylan says, hello Dylan, how are you, buddy? Amy Tolan says, all Leeds, aren't we? Dylan says, defense were all over the place in there for the goal. Yeah, dead right, mate. And then Dylan also says that they made the subs too late. Yeah, and I totally agree with you, mate. Like that, we know with Daniel Farke that he likes to make a substitution around the 78-minute mark, and it's well too late. And you're already thinking, when the game isn't going well, you as a fan, you're already thinking, I'd make this up and I'd make this up. And you're thinking at it around the 78-minute mark. And it seems like he just delays. And then he decides to make it around the 70, 75-minute mark. And it's too late. It's too late for that player to try and dig it in and have any sort of impact on the game. Bringing Tanaka on for me yesterday was just a disgrace. He only got a couple of minutes. And yeah, for me, that's where Farke has to change it up. He has to be better in his in-game management for me, 110%. Yeah, guys, so 5 is in the chat, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video, guys. It really gives us a dig out. Stay on for another couple of minutes, see if anyone has any comments or any topics to bring up before we head off and we wrap up your match wrap up. Sorry, guys. Right, guys. Yeah, I think we leave it there. Fairly quiet in the comments, and only 4 people watching. So yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. So that's it. That's your wrap up, all wrapped up for the Burnley game. Look, as I said, not too disheartened as I was yesterday. Only 5 games this season to go, a long way to go. Daniel Farke for me needs to change his in-game management a little bit, and I think he needs to do that. Otherwise, he's going to put himself on borrowed time if he keeps continuing the way that he is now. His slow, dry football, failing to make substitutions when everyone else can see it, and no plan B. If he continues the way that he is, I think Daniel Farke will be on borrowed time. So yeah, look, guys, that's it from me. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll do a video. We'll see. Going to see what way the landscape is. So yeah, thanks for popping in, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video, guys. And we'll catch you on the flip side. All the best.